Is Kendrick Lamar the new Michael Jackson? I know, it's a wild statement, but is it really that far-fetched? I mean, after Kendrick captivated an audience of 133.5 million viewers during his Super Bowl halftime performance and matched one of Michael's legendary chart-topping achievements right after, K-Dot has sparked a wave of comparisons. I mean, for over a decade, Kendrick has talked about the late pop star's excellence, and now he's being brought into the same convos with the legend. So let's see how all this talk about K-Dot and the King of Pop stacks up. Back in 2014, Kendrick made it clear that if there were anyone he would like to collaborate with, it would be Michael Jackson, and a few others, of course.
If you could pick 3 artists to collaborate with, deceased or living, who would they be? Oh, that's easy. Tupac, of course. Tupac, Michael Jackson. That'd be a crazy collab. And Marvin Gaye.
A year later, Kendrick name-dropped MJ on his song Mortal Man. Depending on how you look at the line, it may not necessarily be in homage, but more commentary on a widespread notion. On the record, K-Dot raps, "How many leaders you said you needed then left them for dead? Is it Moses? Is it Huey Newton? Or Detroit Red? Is it Martin Luther? JFK? Shooter, you assassin? Is it Jackie? Is it Jesse? Oh, I know it's Michael Jackson." Dot also delivered some controversial bars too. That gave us Billie Jean. You say he touched those kids? When hit the fan, is you still a fan? Addressing the child molestation allegations that plagued Jackson's career. From Kendrick's point of view, he praised MJ for creating such a classic track like Billie Jean and seemed to challenge if fans would stand behind Jackson in the face of controversy. A bold move despite the allegations. And just last year, Dot also used MJ to throw shots at Drake in their infamous rap feud. On Future and Metro Boomin's Battle Starter Like That, Kendrick mentioned Michael Jackson as a way to diss Drake. And your best work is a light pack. Prince outlived Mike Jack. Kendrick rapped on Like That. Lyrics aside, when looking at the similarities between Michael and Kendrick, people may not realize just how connected they are, despite one being a pop artist and the other being a rapper. However, the two artists really have similarities in their artistic approaches. Look at Michael's 1996 track, They Don't Care About Us. It's one of MJ's most controversial records and served as a protest anthem as he created a song detailing what was happening in the world, not only around him, but to him. On the track, the singer says, "I'm a victim of police brutality now. I'm tired of being the victim of hate." Kendrick's own 2015 protest anthem, All Right, became a rallying cry for police brutality during the pandemic in 2020 in the wake of George Floyd's brutal murder that same year. "And we hate Po-Po. Wanna kill us dead in the street for show." Kendrick rapped on the track. Both artists created music that served a meaningful message during hard times, showing their artistry's depth. That still doesn't mean Kendrick is living in MJ's moonwalking shoes though. On a lighter note, Mike and Kenny also approached their music with subject matter for the ladies. MJ with his classic 1992 ode, Remember the Time, in which he recalls how he was crazy in love. 20 years later on K-Dot's Poetic Justice, he waxed poetic about a lady in his life and said in an interview, "If you listen to Poetic Justice, it's a song about a chick saying these legs are poems." It's a little bit different than MJ's approach, but it still has a sense of romance. When looking at their creative output, they both had consecutive 3-album runs that were celebrated for their impact. Jackson with Off the Wall in 1979, Thriller in 1982, and Bad in 1987. And Kendrick with Section 80 in 2011, Good Kid Mad City in 2012, and To Pimp a Butterfly in 2015. With both laying claims to iconic projects full of songs with major replay value to this day, it's interesting Kendrick would surprise anyone would even compare him to Jackson at any point. 9 years ago, Kendrick was a guest on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon to discuss being the rapper with the most Grammy nominations with 11 nods in 2016. At the time, Michael Jackson held the record with 12 nominations for Thriller, which was brought to K-Dot's attention. Kendrick was humbled by almost meeting that big accomplishment. No pun intended.
You almost had the same amount of nominations as Michael Jackson for Thriller.
The legend. I wouldn't want to go past that though.
No.
No.
But what if you had 13?
No. I take back. I can't fathom being as great as Michael without putting out the work. So 11 is perfect. You know, he's the legendary. I'm glad it's at 12.
What happens? Say you do get 13. Kendrick, let's think about this.
Yeah.
The rapper went on to win 5 Grammys in one night that same year. So far, Kendrick has snagged 22 Grammy Awards and 57 nominations to Jackson's 13 wins and 38 nominations. It's clear Kendrick had no desire to surpass MJ's record back then without what he felt was, quote, putting out the work. He could arguably be called a king of rap with his own awards and recognitions throughout his career, which rivals Jackson's own King of Pop title. A few months after the convo with Fallon, Kendrick spoke on the King of Pop once again in a discussion with producer Rick Rubin for GQ. Kenny revealed he was always enamored with MJ's larger-than-life personality and watched the singer perform while growing up.
When I look at Michael Jackson, still to this day, Michael Jackson is the biggest imaginary character for me because I never got to meet him. I've always seen him on television, you know. I've always seen him doing magic on stage, you know. So I'm looking at this guy as just a figment of my imagination and me wondering how did they get, you know, beyond to that television screen. You know, so all these things played a part with me being where I'm at today, from the music to what I'm watching and just my perspective. My perspective was always that I'm not just watching TV, I'm trying to figure out how does he do that, you know? Just curiosity.
During his tour for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers in 2022, Kendrick took a page from MJ's performance playbook and wore a glittering white glove on his left hand at each show. The nod to Michael Jackson was another way the rapper paid respect to the late icon, as he'd done throughout his career. The legendary pop star inspired died. Speaking of performances, this year, Kendrick beat a massive record set by Michael in 1993 when the King of Pop performed at the Super Bowl. Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show drew 133.5 million viewers, beating MJ's legendary 1993 performance by 1 million views. Jackson's halftime show drew 133.4 million views over 30 years ago. So that reignited the discussion comparing Kendrick and MJ. Then K-Dot nearly matched another Michael record. When Kendrick's song Luther featuring SZA hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, Dot achieved the fastest accumulation of 4 #1 hits on the Hot 100 among male soloists in a lead role since Michael did with his Bad album. Michael had notched 5 songs from the project over 9 months in 1987 and 1988. Kendrick's 4 #1s included Luther with SZA, Squabble Up, Not Like Us, and Like That with Future and Metro Boomin. Big statements like I Told Y'all, GNX's rap Thriller were even made on X after rap fans saw the achievements like that play out in real time. While not everyone agreed with the sentiment, it showed the elite territory people in the hip-hop community were placing on Kendrick due to the accomplishments he was landing. Still, people can't forget that during his 45-year career, Michael sold over 500 million records worldwide, with 5 of his albums selling over 20 million copies each. And MJ's album Thriller is still the best-selling album of all time. In contrast, Kendrick Lamar is currently one of the top 5 most streamed artists on Spotify and has sold over 50 million records in his 15-year career. While record consumption is measured differently in this streaming era, Kendrick clearly has a long way to go to reach Michael's long-running global impact, but he's on his way. Do you think the Michael and Kendrick comparisons are blasphemous, or are they right on the money? Visit the XXL store to buy merch. Hit subscribe to see more videos from XXL.